you said that you wouldn't pursue right-to-work legislation. You've been pretty clear about that.
Yep.
But some conservative legislators have said they wouldn't mind going down that road. If that came to you, if they produced that legislation, if they could get it through and it got to your desk, how would you react to that?
It's not going to come to my desk. I can tell you plain and simple. And I can tell you why, because you've said some talked about it in the past. They talked about it long before this past year. I don't think there's any real interest from the vast majority of lawmakers, be they Republican or Democrat, of going through in the next session what we went through early this past year. So I just don't, on a personal level, aside from philosophy, I just don't see that happening.
Even with other states like Indiana, being a right-to-work state?
Yeah, I mean, I think long-term there may be people who come back and reassess it over time. I just don't see there's any aptitude for that in the state of Wisconsin.
But even though they were talking about it a long time ago, I think some of them thought about it as sort of a logical next step.
Well, there's some to talk about, but I think that's such a clear distinction out here. This was never about unions. This is about balancing budgets and putting power back in the hands of the taxpayers. I just had some of the operating engineers in with me today. Private sector unions are overwhelmingly my partner in economic development. In fact, if we'd listened to the private sector unions, we'd be having in place right now further discussions about streamlining the process for safe and environmentally sound mining in the state of Wisconsin, because the operating engineers and the carpenters and others overwhelmingly want to do that and want to work with us to have that happen. They want to put more people to work. If we'd listened to the private sector unions, we'd be lobbying the federal government to pass Keystone, to push through Keystone and push the Administration Act on it, because we're one of the top states in the country that would benefit from that pipeline because of companies like the Micro Corporation. Those private sector unions overwhelmingly are in a position to be our partners in economic development. And I'm not going to have a battle that takes that away from us coming up in the next session as long as I continue to be governor in this term. It's just not going to happen.